Imagine waking up each morning feeling grounded, centered, and poised regardless of what the day may hold. Picture yourself moving through life's ups and downs with grace and resilience, your inner calm undisturbed by outer chaos. This isn't just a distant dream, it's a way of living that has been pursued and practiced for centuries, rooted in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Today, we delve into a topic that's not just about understanding Stoic philosophy, but about recognizing and transforming behaviors that stand in our way. Stoicism teaches us how to live virtuously and find joy in accepting what we cannot change while diligently working on what we can. It's about recognizing our power to cultivate inner strength, wisdom, and tranquility, regardless of external circumstances. Stoic principles guide us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, to value simplicity over complexity, and to seek fulfillment in the elevation of our character. However, in our journey through modern life, we often find ourselves veering away from these principles, entangled in habits and mindsets that lead us astray. These anti-Stoic behaviors act as barriers to our personal and philosophical growth. They prevent us from experiencing the full richness of life and embodying the Stoic virtues of courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. Before we dive deep into the transformative wisdom of Stoicism, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel not just as a viewer, but as an active participant in this journey of self-improvement. Remember, you're different from the majority. You've chosen to embrace this path, making you an exception. So don't skip any part of the video. Each segment is a crucial step toward understanding and integrating Stoic practices into your life, helping you stand out in a world of conformity. In a world bombarded by advertisements and consumer culture, it's easy to believe that happiness lies in the next purchase or possession. But Stoicism encourages us to find contentment and happiness within ourselves. It teaches us that the pursuit of material wealth can often be a distraction from achieving true peace of mind and happiness. Stoics believe that by focusing on our inner selves, our character, virtues, and actions, we can find a deeper, more lasting form of joy. So how can we apply this wisdom in our everyday lives? It starts with shifting our focus from what we want to acquire to what we want to experience and become. Think about the moments that have truly enriched your life. Chances are they're not about the things you've bought, but the experiences you've had and the relationships you've nurtured. Whether it's a meaningful conversation with a friend, a breathtaking hike in nature, or the satisfaction of personal growth. These are the joys that stick with us, shaping who we are and who we aspire to be. Let's challenge ourselves to value simplicity and authenticity over extravagance and pretense. By doing so, we not only free ourselves from the endless cycle of wanting, but also open our hearts to the genuine happiness that comes from living a life aligned with Stoic principles. Remember, it's not the stuff we accumulate that defines our legacy, it's the wisdom we gain, the love we share, and the peace we find within ourselves. We live in a world where the number of likes, shares, and follows can seem like direct measures of our worth. But here's something to ponder. When we hinge our self-esteem on others' approval, we're building our sense of self on very shaky ground. It's like constructing a house on sand. The slightest tide can wash it all away. Stoicism, with its profound wisdom, offers us a solid foundation. This ancient philosophy teaches us that seeking validation from outside ourselves is a precarious path. The Stoics encourage us to look inward for approval and self-worth. They counsel us to cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, qualities that define our character and which no external force can diminish or take away. Let's consider this in our everyday interactions. How often do we change our opinions, mute our true thoughts, or alter our behavior just to fit in or please someone else? It's almost like wearing a mask, isn't it? But the problem with wearing a mask is that over time it can become suffocating, and deep down we know it's not who we truly are. Stoicism nudges us to remove that mask, to embrace our authentic selves, and to find validation from within. This doesn't mean we should become indifferent to others or dismiss feedback entirely. After all, humans are inherently social beings, and connection is vital. What Stoicism teaches is the art of discernment, the ability to take in external opinions, weigh them against our internal compass, and decide which feedback can help us grow. It's about being secure in who we are in our journey of self-improvement, irrespective of applause or criticism. So the next time you catch yourself craving approval or feeling swayed by someone else's opinion, pause. Ask yourself, am I seeking this validation for growth, or is it to fill a void of self-doubt? Remember, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. You are the custodian of your value, and it's your internal virtues, actions, and integrity that truly define you. Have you ever caught yourself replaying a conversation over and over in your head, or worrying incessantly about a future event? That's rumination. It's like a record that's stuck playing the same chords of regret, worry, and fear on a loop. But here's the kicker. While we're busy ruminating about the past or the future, the present, the only moment we truly have is slipping through our fingers. Stoicism, with its rich history of practical wisdom, offers us a lifeline out of this cycle. The Stoics weren't just philosophers. They were realists who knew the value of focusing on the present. They taught that while we can't change the past and can't control the future, we can influence the present. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we can break free from the chains of rumination that bind us to what we can't change or predict. But how do we do this? How do we pull our minds out of the past's shadows or the future's fog? The answer lies in practicing mindfulness and cultivating gratitude. When you catch yourself slipping into rumination, pause and take a deep breath. Look around you. Notice the colors, the sounds, the textures. This simple act of awareness can snap you back to the present, grounding you in the reality of the moment. And then there's gratitude. In the midst of our brooding, it's easy to overlook the blessings we have right here, right now. By consciously acknowledging these blessings, be it the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a home, or the presence of loved ones, we shift our focus from lack to abundance, from fear to appreciation. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the external events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. By choosing to focus on the present and cultivate a sense of gratitude, we're not just breaking the cycle of rumination, we're also aligning ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living according to nature, which in this context means embracing life as it unfolds, moment by moment. Remember, every time you pull yourself back from the past or the future to the present, you're strengthening a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger that muscle gets and the less hold rumination will have over you. Living in the present, learning from the past without being chained to it, and preparing for the future without being consumed by worry is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The Stoics understood that change is not just an inevitable part of life, but a necessary one. They saw change as the universe's natural order, a dance of transitions that offers opportunities for personal development and wisdom. Instead of resisting change, Stoics advocate embracing it, recognizing it as a pathway to becoming more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more aligned with the flow of life. Imagine if we could view change not as a threat but as an invitation to explore, to learn, and to evolve. When we shift our perspective in this way, the fear associated with change begins to dissipate. We start to see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. We find excitement in the prospect of new experiences and growth in the challenges they bring. But how do we make this shift? How do we learn to welcome change with open arms? It starts with a mindset shift. We must let go of the illusion of control. the belief that we can cling to the status quo. Instead, we embrace the Stoic understanding that the only true control we have is over our thoughts and actions in the present moment. Next, we can cultivate flexibility and adaptability, traits that allow us to navigate change with grace. This means being open to new ideas, willing to let go of old ones, and prepared to step outside our comfort zones. Remember, it's in the moments when we feel most uncomfortable that we often grow the most. Finally, we can practice seeing change through a lens of gratitude. Every change, whether it seems positive or negative at the moment, brings lessons and opportunities. By focusing on what we can learn and how we can grow, we transform our experience of change from one of fear to one of curiosity and appreciation. So let's not fear change. Let's embrace it as the Stoics did, as an essential and enriching part of the human experience. Let's step out of our comfort zones, explore the new, and find joy in the journey of becoming. After all, it's through change that we have the opportunity to discover our potential, test our limits, and craft a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. In the embrace of change, we find our true strength and our path to inner peace. It's easy to get caught up in minutiae, losing sight of what truly matters. The Stoics remind us that not all things deserve our energy and attention. They teach us the art of discernment, to recognize the difference between what we can change and what we must accept. This distinction is crucial because it empowers us to focus our efforts on what truly matters, rather than wasting time on the inconsequential. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every day you have a choice. You can either plant seeds that will grow into nourishing plants or let weeds take over. The seeds represent the aspects of life within your control, your actions, your thoughts, your decisions. The weeds represent the things outside your control, other people's opinions, the past, random events. By focusing on tending to your garden, on what you can nurture and grow, you cultivate a life of purpose and serenity. This principle is particularly liberating when facing adversity. Instead of being overwhelmed by challenges, we can ask ourselves, what part of this is within my control? This question reframes our perspective, shifting our focus from feeling powerless to recognizing where we can exert influence. It transforms us from passive victims of circumstance to active participants in our own lives. For example, consider a situation where you face criticism. You can't control the words that others say, but you can control your reaction. Instead of dwelling on the negativity, use it as an opportunity to practice resilience, to refine your self-awareness, and to reinforce your commitment to your values. Another powerful application of this Stoic principle is in managing stress. Often, stress arises from our attempts to control the uncontrollable. By acknowledging the limits of our control, we free ourselves from this futile struggle. We learn to accept what we cannot change and focus our energy on what we can, our attitudes, our responses, our efforts. This practice also extends to our goals and aspirations. It's important to set goals that align with our values and to work diligently towards them. However, it's equally important to recognize that the outcome is not entirely within our control. We can control the effort we put in, but we can't guarantee the result. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, we find satisfaction in our efforts and growth, regardless of external circumstances. In our relationships, this principle can transform the way we interact with others. We can't control other people's actions or feelings, but we can control how we respond. We can choose to approach interactions with empathy, kindness, and integrity, even when others may not reciprocate. By doing so, we maintain our inner peace and uphold our values regardless of external behavior. So how can we practice this Stoic principle in our daily lives? Start by regularly asking yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Focus instead on your reactions, your decisions, and your actions. These are within your control and are the true drivers of your life's course. This isn't about ignoring problems or becoming indifferent. It's about wisely choosing where to direct your efforts and recognizing that peace comes from within. When you stop wasting energy on what you can't change, you free yourself to fully engage with what you can, and that's where your power lies. Remember, the quality of your life is shaped not by what happens to you, but by how you respond. By focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the rest, you're not only practicing Stoicism, but also paving the way for a more intentional, serene, and powerful life. Let's commit to this practice together, finding freedom in discernment and strength in focusing on what truly counts. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to become preoccupied with the future. We're often so focused on what's next, our next goal, our next challenge, our next achievement, that we forget to live in the present. This constant forward thinking can lead to anxiety, as we're always anticipating the unknown. It can also cause us to miss out on the beauty and joy of the current moment. The Stoics, however, understood the importance of living in the present. They believed that the present moment is all we truly have, and that by fully engaging with it, we can find peace and contentment. They taught that by focusing on the here and now, we can reduce our worries about the future and regrets about the past. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means not letting our thoughts about the future dominate our present. It means being mindful of our actions, thoughts, and feelings right now, and appreciating the current moment for what it is. It's about finding balance, planning for the future while also savoring the present. One practical way to live more in the present is through mindfulness meditation. This practice involves paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your mind's activity without getting caught up in it. Regular mindfulness practice can help you become more aware of your present moment experience and less preoccupied with worries about the future or regrets about the past. Another way to live more in the present is by practicing gratitude. Gratitude helps us focus on what we have right now rather than what we want or what we're afraid of losing. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, from fear to appreciation. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating the good things in our lives, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and joy in the present moment. Stoicism also teaches us to accept the present moment as it is, rather than wishing it were different. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means acknowledging reality and working with it, rather than against it. It's about understanding that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. By accepting the present moment, we free ourselves from the struggle against reality and find peace in the here and now. Living in the present also means being fully engaged in our actions. Whether we're working, spending time with loved ones, or enjoying a hobby, being fully present allows us to experience these activities more deeply and meaningfully. It means putting aside distractions and giving our full attention to what we're doing. This not only enhances our experience, but also improves our performance and satisfaction. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, living in the present can be challenging, but by practicing mindfulness, gratitude, acceptance, and engagement, we can cultivate a present-focused mindset. This not only reduces anxiety and stress, but also enhances our overall well-being and happiness. So let's commit to living in the present, to embracing each moment fully and mindfully. Let's appreciate the beauty of the here and now, find joy in our current experiences, and trust that by living well today, we are also creating a better tomorrow. In conclusion, the wisdom of Stoicism offers us timeless guidance on how to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. By focusing on what we can control, seeking inner validation, embracing change, and living in the present, we can cultivate resilience, peace, and joy. These principles not only help us navigate life's challenges, but also enable us to thrive in a complex and ever-changing world. Let's strive to embody these Stoic principles in our daily lives, making a conscious effort to grow and evolve. Remember, the journey to self-improvement is ongoing, and every step we take brings us closer to becoming the best versions of ourselves. By committing to this path, we can find true contentment and fulfillment, regardless of external circumstances. So let's take this journey together, supporting and encouraging one another as we navigate the complexities of life. Let's embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and in doing so, create a life of purpose, serenity, and joy.